As summer fades and the leaves turn, New Hampshire explodes with color. The mountains, valleys, and coastline burst into a lustrous land of crimson, orange, and gold foliage. Rays of sunshine illuminate the crisp air. Earthy aromas swirl in the breeze. The great American writer Willa Cather claimed October was invented in New Hampshire, her affection evident in a letter to a friend in 1933.
You can always see me in October, if you come to Jaffrey, which is the home and birthplace of October.
Cather first visited Jaffrey around 1917 in the prime of her literary career. She fell in love with the tiny town nestled at the base of Mount Monadnock. For the next 25 years, she made the trek from New York City, mostly in the fall. The Shattuck Inn, no longer standing, became a second home. The innkeepers like family.
Please, if possible, have our old rooms ready for us, 324 and 328, with the bath in between. We hope to stay at the inn until the end of November.
She had a view of Mount Monadnock and, found it quiet and inspirational and a place she could really focus on her work.
Ashley Olson is the executive director of the National Willa Cather Center in Red Cloud, Nebraska, Cather's childhood home. Olson visits Jaffrey in honor of Cather's 150th birthday.
Willa Cather really rose to prominence and made a name for herself by writing about the Great Plains.
Several of Cather's most acclaimed novels were written in part inside this tent she pitched on a friend's estate, a short walk from the Shattuck Inn. She writes to her brother Roscoe in 1938 about how the countryside makes her pen flow.
I am up here alone at this hotel in the woods where I've done most of my best work, where the proprietors are so kind to me. I finished Antonia here, finished A Lost Lady, and began The Archbishop. The best part of all the better books was written here.
Another book, one of ours, about a Nebraska farm boy who fights and dies in the Great War, won a Pulitzer Prize in 1923. A first edition sits at the Jaffrey Historical Society. The JHS also houses the diary of local Dr. Frederick Sweeney that Cather used for research. Cather convinced the physician, who had treated her for influenza, to loan her the notes he kept while caring for soldiers on a warship in 1918. Ernest Hemingway was no fan, dismissive of her award-winning book.
Hemingway was quite critical of the novel and, said something to the effect of no woman would be able to write a war novel.
Another renowned author, F. Scott Fitzgerald, wrote Cather an apology letter. He confessed to writing a passage in The Great Gatsby reminiscent of a passage Cather wrote in A Lost Lady. Cather let him off the hook.
Cather said something to the effect of, I've read your book. I didn't see, any... He was apologizing for what he thought could be conceived as plagiarism, and she sort of played it off and said, I thought nothing of it.
As much as Cather treasured New Hampshire's beauty and tranquility, she also cherished the privacy Jaffrey provided. Wertha Barker's mother cared for the innkeeper's twins and would occasionally run into Cather at the Shattuck Inn.
We really didn't talk a lot about it, but I just know that she had mentioned that she had been the privilege of meeting her.
Often, Cather would visit with her longtime companion, Edith Lewis. This is one of the few pictures of the two together.
It was taken very obviously in Jaffrey at the Meeting House Common. We can recognize the houses that are behind.
Ken Campbell, a historian with the Jaffrey Village Improvement Society, tracked down the 100-year-old photo and had it restored.
It's the only picture of the two of them where both you can see their faces clearly. And it was the first picture published of them together.
And this is the only known letter between Cather and Lewis, written from the inn.
My darling Edith, I am sitting in your room looking out on the woods you know so well.
She signs it, lovingly, W. Cather Cather is celebrated for her gift of creating a sense of place in her writing, and for stunning portraits of people she knew from her childhood and other points in her life.
So although it's fiction, one of the interesting aspects of Cather's work is that you don't often have to look very far to find the real person that she was writing about.
Like Anna Pavelka, the immigrant girl hired to work for Cather's neighbors, who inspired her most famous book, My Antonia. A statue of Cather now stands in the U.S. Capitol, unveiled in 2023 in Statuary Hall. She becomes just the 12th woman in the collection. Nebraska sculptor Littleton Alston created the 7-foot-tall bronze figure.
I wanted to represent her in her mature stage where she had already achieved so much. She had already written My Antonia. So she's in her early or mid-40s, and she's in the top of her game.
Willa Cather died in 1947 at the age of 73. And although she was born in Virginia, grew up in Nebraska, worked in New York City, she chose Jaffrey as her final resting place, buried in a corner in the cemetery behind the old meeting house in the shadow of Mount Monadnock, eventually joined by her partner Edith Lewis. The inscription on Cather's headstone includes a memorable line from My Antonia. That is happiness, to be dissolved into something complete and great.